Alright, hello everyone. We are doing a first impressions review on Citizen Sleeper. It is free on the Epic Game Store until June 26th. Um, for these, I'm jumping in on these games in real time. I've never played them before, so we're gonna play it for a while, and I'll tell you what I think as we go. Okay, you get to choose a class. So we got an operator here. An operator works with drones, high precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Okay, so this sounds really fun. This sounds like. So, drones, those are always fun in video games. Now, I don't know if this is. I didn't read much about the info on this. I just grabbed it and downloaded it. So this says like we're going into some type of RPG shooter here. So yeah, this is a completely blind first impressions. I don't know what type of game it is. I don't know anything about it. As I learn, that's when I find out about it in real time here. So we have an extractor. They work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extract work are often confident, self sufficient, and have high levels of endurance. Okay, so this is like your more tanky strength build class. Or we have the mechanist. They repair, modify, automate systems, use industrial resource extractions. Sleepers assigned to mechanist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Alright, so it looks like we're going with a mage, the mage warrior, rogue type of initial class choice here. I'm gonna go with the operator. The first thing you become aware of on walking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. Where are you? Unknown. Items, data. Okay. So we're gonna get a little bit of text RPG stuff in here. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Okay, now we get a choice. Um, think of that body. Okay. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember the plan, remember others. Let's focus on the plan. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited, and once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple: collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourself into containers, then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reach any destination. Wait for the cold, try to rest. Um, Man, it sounds exhausting. I'm gonna try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as cold, softer and softer, until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. Ah, we got a ship! Dragos, pragmatic salvager. Ooh, okay. We're on a salvager. Okay. You can kind of pan up and down and look at it. This is cool. There's like something floating there. Maybe a few side ships, smaller ships. Okay. Okay. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You still huddle in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges, where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper, you all thawed yet? Almost, stay silent. Almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside-outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset with its glinting eyes the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbolically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment, or perhaps he is just figuring out what to do with you. I plan to survive. What happened to them? What happened to them? He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation, and I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software, a rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart, and it's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SN wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well then, no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down. Separate from your emulated mind. Separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station, you'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with, he trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. All right, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Drago stalks back into the Rex. His drone's already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Welcome to Arlen's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions at the end of each cycle. You need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Select the locations with plus and A. Okay, continue. Okay, so far we've sold our real body to some corporation, and now we've been picked up by some salvager ship out here, and it looks like we're on a time frame to when this body breaks down. So let's see where this goes. It's an interesting lore and premise so far. An interesting way to start out a game story. Okay. We're in a container, 4 steel walls. All right. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? That's a good question. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here, maybe here on the edge of everything. There is a life for you to build, but before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos had left a few comforts in the container: the mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachet smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like a station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns, burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and is long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Alright. Condition represents the current state of your artificial body. Okay, so we have to monitor our body condition, which is that orange bar at the top there. The action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. Okay, so it's sort of like D&D. We're going to be rolling dice to do actions and all that. And the white bar is energy. So we have to also monitor not only the condition of our body, but our energy. So we have to monitor eating and food and stuff like that. Alright. Dragos is standing in the corner where you close up the container. Okay. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Okay. The drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Work. Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container out of the goodness of my heart. He looks away. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper you'll be used to the manual labor, and obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Got it. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be the best suited moving on as quick as you can, and sleepers, well... But things being the way that they are for me at the yard, he pauses, I need the help. Happy to. Okay, he pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you are feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Okay, we're gonna try working for this place. Pay low and toll. After some spacers cause some trouble in the lowered Yatgan have imposed a toll for entry. No one gets in without paying. Okay, well, I'm gonna back out of that for a second. Okay, there's the yard. Go to the yard. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, select it with the plus and A, and then choose an action dice to assign. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcomes. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds. And negative, the action fails. Alright. So we want a 5 or higher. Okay, actions display information about type, risk level, and skill modifiers that apply to the action. So, a repeatable action, critical or repeatable actions can only be performed once. 2, the risk, whether it's safe, risky, or dangerous. Okay. 3, the skill that this action requires. Engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage. And the modifier. Okay, so this is added to the action dice. Okay. Okay, so hull dissection is risky. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Okay, a debt called in. Drago is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses a payment or 2, things could get nasty. Back in business, every salvager knows they are always just one lucky haul away from their next paycheck. Okay, so we can try the risky engineer or the hull dissection. We don't have any bonuses in the engineer skill. Or we can try the manual salvage, which is safe, and there's no... But we do get a negative modifier for that one. Let's give one of these risky ones a go. Oh, I see, okay. Well, since it's risky, we're gonna go with the 5, because... yeah. Okay, tutorial clocks. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them, and they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Drago's debt, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without player input. Okay. So we only have a few ticks to help Drago out, okay? And if we don't do what we're supposed to do by the time the clock ticks, he's probably going to get in really big trouble or die or something. So not only do your dialogue options matter here, but what you choose to spend your time doing in the game also matters. So if you go and do a bunch of side quests or something while somebody needs you, like Drago, you could end up getting somebody bad consequences and change the story. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Drago's debt, are cyclical. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and complete without the player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Okay. Okay, since we don't have a really good dice, we're gonna go and to this one. Drives and navigation. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you to pursuing specific objectives depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any track drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu with L1. Okay. Scroll the station with L to R to rotate camera with R. Good luck. Okay, we got some money. A little bit more. I think once we're out of the dice, that's it. Ooh, we got more money than I thought we would. Okay. We're done working. Take several cycles to reach the Starward Belt and return loaded with scrap from the old wrecks. Okay. Ooh, there's a market here. Ask for directions. Why wonder when there are hundreds of people that live and work within the bright market? All you need is the courage to approach them. Explore. Okay, well, we don't have any action dice points. That guy wants money. Okay. Is our bed here? Oops. Steel dock plans. Explore the rotunda. Okay. Assist shipbuilder, haul materials. Okay, so basically you're gonna work through the story by going through and you get actions and stuff. So it's kind of like a it's a pretty fun interactive little story here. The world has a lot. I can already tell it's got a lot of it's gonna this game's gonna have a lot of lore and it's gonna have a lot of story. So if you're really heavy into that and like strategically planning out your decisions, I think you'll like this game. But yeah, that's my first impressions of this. I think it's cool that you have the menus are really clean and nice. I like the time system and the dice system. I'm sure as you level up, I don't know if as you level up you get more dice or what, but I'm assuming as you know as this character here goes up in skill that you get more ability to do things. So here you can put your points into things. Okay, on this side. Okay, they're different sides. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good one there. Let's see. The menu isn't quite clear. I think it means. I think this means I've only spent one upgrade point. Maybe that's what that means. But then it says 2 and 3. Oh, I get it. These here in this column cost 1, these cost 2, and there's probably another side over there, another column that costs 3. Okay. All right. I get it. And then that's the main quest. We gotta help this guy pay his debt. So that's where that's gonna be for most of the game, or for the whole game, I assume. Um, but yeah, it looks like a pretty big ship. I assume that you do eventually get off this, and there's probably way bigger worlds and choices, so yeah. Yeah, it's definitely very niche. Um, if you don't like these sort of text adventures with a little bit of cool gameplay on the side, probably not a game for you. But for free, if you're not sure if you'd like it or not, I mean it's free, so you can grab it and give it a try to see if it's for you or not. Otherwise, yeah, that's about it. I think we're gonna end it here. Thanks for watching.